Hey guys, I just thought I'd come on here and make a very quick video about engineering and what it involves, what I do day to day, and how you guys can get involved as well. Um, I will mainly focus on chemical engineering because that is my discipline, and I'll obviously be able to give you the most insight there. But in general, there are four major disciplines, including civil, mechanical, electrical, and chemical, and then a wider range of disciplines that feed off that. But as a chemical engineer, I guess from a broad perspective, what we do is we take raw materials and come up with a process to create an end product. Um, I went to Melbourne Uni. I studied my Bachelor of Science, majoring in chemical systems, and then did my Master's of Chemical Engineering. I really quite liked that degree, I guess, because for me, I had no idea what engineering was when I was starting out either. All I knew was that I was really good at maths and chemistry, and I didn't really know what career it would lead me to. I just kind of followed my passions. But by doing the Bachelor of Science, I was able to do other elective subjects. So I did a lot of accounting along the way as well. Um, and it left it all very broad for me to be able to make up my mind as I went along and kind of got an insight as to what engineering involved. For me, I just quite liked the subjects, and I guess that's why my career led me that way. Like, there were a few engineering specific subjects along the way, and I was like, yeah, that really grabbed my attention, and I can see myself doing this in the real world. Um, it also meant that because there were a large number of electives, I got to do other things like renewable energy. So I have an insight into that as well, which I can also apply into my everyday job. Now, the degree itself is very useful. If anything, it teaches you skills to be able to use and apply during your job, and it shows an employer that you are capable of learning and applying. You won't necessarily use everything that you learn in your degree at your job, but that's okay. You do learn a lot in your job along the way. In terms of finding your first job outside of uni, there is a a website called Grad Connect, and that's where I remember always looking up to see what internships, grad positions were available, and the date of the applications, when they were due. Um, for me, I did a industry project within my degree. That was with Veolia Water, looking at nitrification in one of the drinking water networks. And that, I guess, led me to my specific degree because I just kind of followed that, being a water-based career. And then from there, I went and did a summer in Bendigo, met some awesome other vacation students that were doing engineering as well. That was with Collarbone Water. And then my first job out of uni, I was a commissioning engineer. So I was on site, full tradie, up at 4 a.m., there all day, fixing valves, priming pumps, changing out IBCs. Um, I actually also got to work quite closely with an electrical engineer, and he was also in charge of doing the coding. So the process that I was working on was automated, which meant that there was a whole lot of control logic behind a sequencing of pumps opening, valves opening in order to get the process to work properly. So I was quite involved in talking to him and in a way to optimize the process, and wrote some of the code myself as well. So again, you just learn a lot on the job. And then that's when I reached out to Mott MacDonald, and I did an application for them prior to me even getting my job as a commissioning engineer. And I ended up getting that job, and I've been with them ever since. So they are a large consulting company, and I really like working for a consulting firm. It enables you to work with a company that is worldwide, so you draw on experts, knowledge and you're well up to date with everything that's happening around the world, it also means I can work with people in other disciplines. So my team itself, we've got like mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, process engineers, civil engineers, we've got it all. But then we also have other teams. So I've done some stuff with like the energy team, which is handy because I obviously have an interest in renewable energy. Then you've got like the airports guys, the tunnels guys, the people that work on the trains. And there is the opportunity to work on bigger projects as part of a really big team, and work in that collaborative environment to really find out exactly what it is that you want to do. I learn something new every single day and I love it. I work on really cool projects all over the world. There's the opportunity for travel. I'm currently working on this project called NEOM in Saudi Arabia, which is the master plan of a really futuristic city. So you can give that one a Google. It's quite cool. But I guess for me, day to day, I spend a lot of time in the office. I simulate a lot of processes. I try and optimize the way a process works to save chemicals, energy, all sorts of costs associated with the everyday runtime of treatment plants. I also have the ability to design a process from like a greenfield process, so designing it from scratch. So for me, a lot of my time is spent in the water industry. I'm part of the water team. But there is the opportunities in chemical engineering to also go out into things such as pharmaceuticals, oil and gas. There's honestly a wide array of jobs available to you. But yeah, I guess that's a very, very quick summary as to what I do. Oh wait, sorry. Actually, one other thing is that I get to spend a lot of time on site. There is one thing to have all this theory behind what is meant to happen in a process, but there's another thing as to what happens on site. You can assume a plant is going to be working well. You can assume you've got all of the data that you need to be able to optimize a plant. But again, going out and seeing what happens on site is very different to anything you can read in a textbook. For me, my everyday life is very heavily maths and chemistry based. Spend a lot of time on Excel spreadsheets. And I do something different every single day, which is really cool. Like, I'm never bored. No chance. I'm never bored. Yeah, and it really keeps my brain going all the time, which is something that I really need. The other thing is that you do also probably need some good English skills. There's a lot of report writing because you obviously have to present your findings to clients, and be able to explain to people of different backgrounds what issues are, because you might have to go to a client who has to present to the board the reason that they need extra budget for some upgrades that may be required. So, you do have to have the ability to put things back into layman terms. Look, this is just a very, very quick overview as to what engineering is. I just wanted to answer a few of your questions. Shout out if there's anything else you wanted to know, but I hope this was a bit of an insight as to what engineering is and what sort of career you might like to have.